This is Robocop, Rogue City Unfinished Business. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the videos, subscribing is great as well. It's time to embody Robocop. So this is a standalone expansion to Robocop Rogue City. You don't actually need the main game to play this. It's its own complete story. I'm assuming this is more of a bite-sized way to kind of get people into it, like a smaller sized way to kind of get people into Robocop, or to just really add a bit more value to the experience of Robocop, an experience that was quite a lot of fun for a lot of people to play, filled to the brim with insanity, action, and all of the cheesy old school style that you would love from the Robocop films. The gore, the violence, the weapons, the intensity, the being Robocop. And the chaos of it, all beautifully crafted here. Wow, we actually get like a fully upgraded Robocop too. That's awesome. So, yeah, this continues after the events of Rogue City. So I guess, like, in theory, you could just dive into this, but I think you will miss out a little bit if you don't play the main game first. But, you know, you do you. You want something where you just jump in as Robocop. This is the gameplay experience for you. So, yeah, this is a little bit into the game. This is basically just after what I would consider to be like a bit of a prologue. It's telling you what happened. Something bad went on. You know, your precinct was attacked, and now Robocop has unfinished business. So your decisive victory against the gangs of Detroit, they basically, a new situation has unfolded. There's this mercenary gang. They're in this Omni Tower place that was supposed to be a place of goodness for the people or something like that. Something happened. They stole something. They caused problems at your precinct. Robocop is robo-angry. And now you're here to rip and tear as Robocop. Using your abilities, using your setup, using your skills. It has some dialogue options, but you know, it's pretty straightforward in what it is. It's giving you a super-powered Robocop that can come and just like absolutely smash through people, which is pretty exciting. Wow, I'm actually like kind of dying here. I need more armor. I think I'm actually going to die as Robocop. Which would be slightly embarrassing, but you know, it is what it is. Why don't you die? So yeah, this continues the events of, well, basically what happens after. And if you're not familiar with Robocop Rogue City, it kind of fits itself nicely into the films. You know, it gives you a wider look at this character and some of the situations that he has been, you know, dealing with, and it's very, very well done. And there's some neat little story bits here or there that'll give you a little bit more context into the man. Is he a man? Is he a machine? Is he both? That's Robocop. Robocop, the character with a heart of gold and a chest of metal. Anyways, it's pretty cool. So from a technical standpoint, this game is basically inheriting the settings we've seen prior. So this is the quality mode. They're outputting the full scale at 4K, but it's like, you know, it's actually like 1440, taking from 1080p, both for quality and performance. And then this is, so quality mode was 30 FPS, which is what you were seeing. Now we're going to performance mode, which is 60 FPS. There's a field of view option. If you're streaming, there's a streamer mode, which I'm very thankful that they added. Too late for me having played through the main game, but you know, it is what it is. And then lots of options, difficulty settings, gameplay stuff, and then of course your regular controls. So I would recommend very easily that you play in performance mode to get the 60 FPS. It's just a much better experience. And yeah, kind of the way to go about it. It still exhibits the same things that we had prior. You know, at times it can be a little blurry, at times there can be some performance drops, or it might like kind of hitch or something like that, but it's not too bad. So yeah, what was it? The new guy in town's been defeated, and yeah, now the streets are riddled with crime still, because that's old Detroit for you. And then there's this situation going on with the Omni Tower, a massive housing complex. It's kind of like a little bit of that, was that the Judge Dredd kind of movie where he's going up the tower and stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of the situation that we have going on here. And you will, kind of be making your way up this complex, doing the things that RoboCop does. Collecting evidence, stopping crime, battling enemies. A takedown, RoboCop executes. So yeah, highly trained mercenaries, cutting-edge weapons take control of the building, and it turns into a deadly contest of force and strength. So you're going to be dealing with these, powerful mercenaries using your powerful cop body. Auto 9 upgrades, yeah, you got to make sure that your motherboard's upgraded because otherwise you get stomped. And nobody likes that. Cool. And there's like chip merging stuff, and then you've got your skill tree, and like I said, it basically just kind of acts as its own little expansion to RoboCop. So if you like played the base game, you're probably gonna like what this has to offer. So there's new enemies, more high-tech stuff, more challenges, more things to blow up, a more dynamic environment to work through as things get absolutely decimated as you go through it. Your typical RoboCop thing. You'll destroy bots, turrets, floating things, regular random enemies that are basically cannon fodder. And you'll also do things such as like fight crazy katana-wielding enemies. There's a good little setup that starts the game that kind of kicks things off, and RoboCop's like, "What happened here?" And he's all mad, and then, you take that anger and you unleash it upon all the poor people in this building that thought that they could cause problems for RoboCop, because RoboCop is awesome cop. But yeah, you get that environment that's like, semi-destructible, which looks really cool as things kind of shred into it. You get that UI setup that's like very RoboCop-like. As I said, they do a good job with this. Like, if you are a fan of RoboCop, you will absolutely love this game because it just really does capture, the beat and the style of RoboCop. Like, it is violent, it is gory, it has a good amount of like setup and challenge to it. It's neat though because this is very different from like the main game, which took you through like different hub areas and stuff. Like, this is a lot more of a dead-on kind of conflict, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, and spatial sound support.
I need it.
Excuse me, but I am not used to talking within an...
Oh, and there's some elements where you will make choices in the story, but I mean, it's pretty like, just slightly just like conversational things. Yeah, basically a bad event happens at the beginning of RoboCop. As I said, it's just kind of angry. And RoboCop takes out his anger upon all the bad guys.
I will not ask again.
Because he's here to uphold the law.
I suggest returning with the appropriate clearance and an updated manners database.
Excuse me, but I am acting on reasonable grounds.
Sir, let's discuss that in a civil, robotic manner.
It's data spiking time.
I am a high-ranking OCP operative. For the past 6 months, mercenaries have been occupying 8 of the top floors and all the floors. On many occasions, they've been recorded using black vans to unload.
It's actually pretty good looking. Like these UE5 games, they can definitely struggle in terms of like fidelity and that. RoboCop, no. RoboCop here. So like with the main game, this game does a really effective job of like making you feel like RoboCop, which probably sounds like a silly thing, but no, really, like, you are a tank. You like walk slowly, taking bullets. You make like clunking sounds. You feel the weight of your character moving through an environment. and you feel the weight of your actions and your attacks actually like destroying the world around you. And then you mix that in with the element of like, you know, it's got a good enough violent level that sort of matches the beat really perfectly of the films, and yeah, tonally and everything like that. It's fantastic. You've got the voice performance, you've got the style, you've got that old school RoboCop look, all the charm, all the wit. What more could you ever need, right? You get to embody being RoboCop. Yeah, you get a pretty healthy amount of achievements. They call me the RoboCop. I thought you were an okay guy. I didn't realize that guy was trying to kill me too. I would have let him live. I know we can't make them stop attacking, but I wish we could talk them down from their stupidity. Pretty awesome being RoboCop. I also love that you can just like grab things that have been stolen and then you can like return it, like get points, and your like RoboCop kind of returns those at some point, I would imagine. This is crazy.
Who are you?
No time for that. You must override the console and that security. Want to stop the mercenaries, I can make a path for you.
It feels great to be back as RoboCop. So there's no odd difficulty spikes, and it should be a pretty fun time. I was just kind of like, oh, this is awesome. I mean, this, you know, it was really expected. Like, honestly, if you didn't know, this was the most popular game, like, the publishers ever put out. So, like, we were obviously going to get more RoboCop. And I'm assuming this was the quickest thing they could put together and release and, like, extend the story. I would imagine for sure we've got more RoboCop stuff coming too. Like, this is definitely not the end of the RoboCop journey. I would, you know, be prepared for more of it down the road because this game was such a hit for them. I mean, it's kind of deserved too, right? Like, if you enjoy RoboCop as a character, this is by far the best, like, I think interpretation maybe out of the films we've seen. I know there's like comics and stuff, but like, as far as like interactive mediums, this is great. And it's cool that this is a standalone game. I really thought that this was just going to be like an expansion thing. Like, they actually came and crafted a new environment and a new setup for us. I'm assuming they were just fans of that Dread show, though. Or the Dread show, the Dread movie. They're like, what if we made this its own RoboCop? That's what the hitching I was talking about, right? Where it kind of pauses for a second. Yeah, it still struggles with performance and stuff. Which, like I said, was kind of expected.
RoboCop, I'm fucking out of here. That walking tin can cannot get through that fortified door.
That's what you think. Love how it's like pixelated a bit, just to kind of like match what RoboCop's seeing visually. Fake ID card, not on RoboCop's watch.
You're at the security room. Override the console.
Tracking the location of police officers is illegal.
Arguing shouldn't be in your programming. Override the console.
The console does not work.
Okay. What have they done to the power? Maybe I can restore it through... Done. Override it.
First, say who you are.
My name doesn't matter, and you don't even have one. So, being on a first-name basis is out. Override the console.
The police do not accept orders from civilians.
I am well aware of your directives. But let's work with that. You want a reason to cooperate with me, I'll give you two. First, without me, you won't reach the floors occupied by mercenaries. They took control of this building's security, and I am the only one who can guide you through it. Take the gate in front of you. The red light means that you can only open them by overriding consoles in security rooms, but only I can make them active. Secondly, the people behind those gates. I guess you'd prefer to help them before you go further. So, what do you say now?
Openness is key to cooperation.
Override the console.
Alright. Let's get it done. Oh. Well, kind of missed on that throw. Anyone else think that was going to be a lot more epic before I totally threw that screen against that wall there, pathetically. It must be so interesting from an acting perspective, though, to like step back into the role of your character, but in a different medium like this so many years later. Like, there were obviously Robocop games, but this one's just kind of fascinating. Dead or alive? Well, dead, you're coming with me. They're all dying. No more Mr. Nice Cop. They certainly just made it an adrenaline-filled thrill ride, didn't they, eh? Like, you just, like, mosey right through this, just destroying everything.
Thank God he came to our rescue.
Lock yourselves in.
You're welcome, citizen. Don't know why you've run out into the open, though, where the battle's going on, but you do you. A lot of SMGs everywhere. Like, what are you gonna do? Axe Robocop a question? Switching to your sidearm is always faster than reloading. You're welcome. Robocop, thank you.
Oh my God! Lock.
Robocop, Robocop. He's a cop that's a robot. Yeah, he actually got up. See, you really get to feel the brutality and the strength of Robocop. Every moment. Yeah, I like this. It's just like straight action. It's like you've done the work, you know, in the first main game of this, and it's just kind of like, just go and have some fun and destroy some stuff. Spectacular.
Yeah, many thanks. But bad for you, I'm the biggest RoboCop fan in all of Detroit, and I can tell you're a copycat. Although your costume looks kinda gnarly.
The level of threat in this area is high. I recommend locking yourself in here.
Hey, your voice acting's really good, too. If you really are RoboCop, prove it.
Say famous one-liner.
Stay out of trouble.
Everyone knows that. Let me ask you some questions that only Robo could answer. At which precincts of the Detroit Police Department has RoboCop been stationed?
I don't know.
In Metro West and Metro North.
Okay. What is RoboCop's name?
Alex Murphy.
Sorry, wrong answer. Last but not least, what happened with Kane, the leader of the nuke cult?
Kane was made into Robocop 2. It went